Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've decided I'm doing a portrait study using Polychromes, and disclaimer, it's just that uh, it would be my style. I wouldn't say this is exactly most people do, but it's my style. At first I've decided I'll check the picture and see which tones her skin might have or which tones she will need to use for the portrait study or like do the portrait. And for that I have recognized the cheeks being a little bit pinkish tone, so I went with rose caramel. I have started with rose caramel and fuchsia toned these two pencils. But at first I've started the sketching out the portrait with a salmon colored pencil of polychromes. And as soon as we are done with the portrait, for the coloring process, I went back with the like you'll see I end up using rose caramel and fuchsia, these both colors for the cheeks to bring that pink tones. And you can cross verify with the picture and the portrait I am doing, because I'm gonna put it on the screen onto the left. And like there is a glow effect on the cheeks and the forehead and the chin, but on the cheeks, if you observe close enough, it's a little bit pinkish, reddish tones. But mostly I observed it was pink. So, like I said, I went with rose caramel for shading the blocking the colors for wherever the darker areas are there. Recognizing where the light source is coming from, where the light source is, I am thinking it is coming from the right. And after doing that, I did the eyebrows with the burnt caramel color of the polychromes. And I went back to the salmon color to bring the more pink tones in the cheek. And for shadow reasons, I have used ultramarine pencil, like ultramarine purplish pencil for the shadow reasons. And for the lips, I use the um, permanent caramel. Like I said, it's always recognizing the light source from which side we are actually from which side we can observe the light coming from. So, like I said, it's from the right. So I left most of the place plain or to fill in, like not fill in the colors as of yet. Right now, I am just going gently layering it on top of the colors. For the eyebrows, I went with a reddish halo blue to bring that. Usually, I either use the blue color to sketch out the portrait or light colors, but usually I go with blue colors. But today I have decided I'll go from gentle light colors to bring in the depth of the cheekbones and all the shadowed regions. And after using the red tones for the cheeks, like it's shown in the picture, I go for lightly warmer tones for the light regions. I have this coral pencil, which is lightly warmer, which is lightly gives the a tone of this orangish color. So I use that. But I did go back to the yellow colors just to uh, make that light regions pop a bit. But back and again, the color won't last for long because I'm gonna layer it again, layer it with the colors you're gonna see now. So for outlining, I have used either burnt caramel or red tones for outlining. And for the nostrils, I went back with the halo blue reddish color. And see, like I said, I use the coral pencil for the light warmer tones on top of the yellow pencil I've used, because it's gonna give that little bit warm nature I wanted it in my portrait study. So that would be the whole theme, and I wanted it to be like stylized portrait study because it's how I usually would do the portrait. It's like how I have learned the way I would do. And for most light areas, the pencil might have been, I have might have used the more pencil there. So for that purpose, I went back and used the smallest eraser available for me to remove some of the um, color over there. And I did go back and use little bit of orange on the skin, where the like not the shadow regions or like not the blush, where I wanted them to like look little bit warmer. And obviously I have used the bluish tones where I wanted it to look like it's a shadow, like where the shadow place is, like that. And for the cheeks, I have strictly kept myself from using other colors more than just using pink and like fuchsia and rose caramel, because I wanted to bring in that pinkish blush on the onto our skin. And again, like you can see, I went with orange to get that more warm tones. And that would be the whole process where I do for portrait. Most of the times I block in the shapes of the portrait where whichever the shape I want to be blocked. I mean, light regions I leave them empty, and the darker regions I go tend to start with them. But most of the times it can be either of that. I can either use the start with the light side of the picture or darker side of the picture, like using the shadows, whichever the concept, like whichever is pulling me closer, like if the darker area is like I'm able to imagine where the process is going, then I would go ahead with that. But for me, it depends on how I pursue the image and how I think it would work out. It goes that way. But actually, here for the banks, I went with green, but it didn't quite end up good. So like I said, I used the eraser and I didn't record it, but I went back with the warmest green color, Prisma colored toned a pencil, because it is a wax based medium, and it blends well. And not only that, it stays on top. You can redo it, like use it for the brightest areas. And I went with the hair because I know, like I said, it's a stylized portrait version, like stylized study of this. So I went with the colors I wanted the hair to be. I went with red and blue because the entire portrait and entire picture is giving reddish tones. So I thought red would be good for hair. Like, I mean, I thought I would like the red, so I went with that. And for eyes as well, I for the outlining and everything, and like I said, I use little bit of blue colors, like cobalt blue or halo blue, to the to get that lining kind of effect to the portrait, so that it shows, like it's like line art shows. But for most of the portrait, I used burnt caramel for the line art. She had the red dress, so I went with red dress as well. I especially wanted the cheeks to be pink because I was like fixated on that. So I wanted pink because she has pink cheeks. And on top of that, the skin actually on the girl is like little bit uh, browner side. But I did go back on top of entire portrait with the burnt caramel to bring that effect. But it's again stylized portrait, not exactly entirely the way she looks. But I do wish she was a little bit warmer brown tones visible on our skin. But maybe next time again, if I do the same portrait, I would go for the same effect. I'm wishing now I had. I'm thinking next time I do that, I will go for the same kind of effect. And that's that, guys. Thank you for listening to me, app.